The opening of Parliament, albeit from Cape Town City Hall, is anything but a quiet affair. My name's Graham Robenheimer, and I'm going to take you inside. Whilst the president postures for the traditional 21-gun salute on the glittering Grand Parade, just a red carpet away and beyond a wall of police, CPUT University students stage a sit-in, protesting a lack of campus accommodation. Bells ring for the ministers and MPs to take their seats, but not without some SONA 2026 speech suggestions from DA leader John Steenhuisen.
I would certainly focus on unblocking the infrastructure at ports and harbours around the country. We have a huge opportunity to export huge amounts of agricultural products and other products. Our ports remain amongst the most inefficient in the world. Getting our products that are sought after around the world to market efficiently and effectively is the best way for us to grow our economy and create jobs.
Followed by a scathing rebuke from Reverend Chris Nissen over the Johannesburg water crisis, where suburbs have been dry for 3 weeks.
No, it's not even inhumane. It's cruel. It's cruel. How do you? And then somebody called me and says, no, I go and buy my water. To hell with that. Provide the water for the people. All you do is you gather all your forces immediately, 24/7, let's do something. Why 3 weeks?
And a somewhat surprisingly candid take by the ANC's Northern Cape Premier Dr. Zamani Saul, who shares a border with Namibia and Botswana.
What do you hear from the President tonight?
Massive investment in infrastructure and decisive action with regards to illegal foreigners.
And corruption?
Corruption is always on the agenda, and there's massive amount of work which is being done to fight corruption. Massive investment strengthening the capacity of the criminal justice system has been doing that over the past few years.
On to the president's address, and he's quick out the blocks with breaking news.
Now, to strengthen our fight against gang violence, I will be deploying the South African National Defence Force to support the police. I have directed the Minister of Police and the SANDF to develop a technical plan on where our security forces should be deployed within the next few days in the Western Cape and in Gauteng to deal with gang violence and illegal mining.
Look, it's a 20-page speech, so I'll save you some reading. Ready? The president's promised to take the fight to organised crime in 2026, whilst warning of lifestyle audits and fresh vetting for senior SAPS members. The Josie water crisis is receiving national attention, says Cyril Ramaphosa, with pipes being repaired and reservoirs filling up again, all updates of which will now come straight to him as chair of a new water crisis committee. The president admits it's all down to poor planning and neglect of water plants and sewers. Perhaps a better response than one given by a certain Gauteng premier.
People think that if there is no water, ourselves, our families, we've got special water. We don't. We also go through, in some instances, I had to go to a certain hotel so that I have to go to my commitment.
Back to the speech. Ramaphosa's super upbeat about the economy though, lauding the rand's recovery, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange's performance, stabilised debt and lowered inflation. Load shedding is also a thing of the past, and 40% of the energy we'll consume by 2030 will be apparently clean, whilst unbundling Eskom will now be overseen by, yes, yet another committee, and no, not just the electricity minister. Ramaphosa, though, won't let go of this dream of high-speed trains, saying 30 companies revealed they're keen to build links between Johannesburg and Durban. 28 million locally made vaccines will go out this next year to end the foot and mouth disease outbreak, killing cattle and forcing up beef and milk prices. It's now a national disaster, and there's, yes, another task team for that too. More jobs are coming, and did the CPUT students outside hear that the president has asked his higher education minister to solve the university accommodation problem? It's doubtful they did. There's one issue that continued to come up across party lines at this SONA that struck me.
Illegal foreigners.
He touched on illegal immigration.
Illegal immigration. The president's promised key border posts will be redeveloped with the private sector's help. A major labour inspection drive is also coming down on businesses that employ illegal immigrants. Still, Ramaphosa says violent xenophobia will not be tolerated. Guess what? We're apparently getting all digital IDs and matric certificates soon. On geopolitical matters, the president says South Africa won't be bullied. And our troops are finally being pulled from the DRC. In short, President Cyril Ramaphosa wants you to know that Mzansi's turning the corner after the state capture decade, but now's the time to move with speed. And I'm the first to ask Sport Minister Gator McKenzie for his take on the speech.
We are truly led in the GNU. Anybody that's part of the GNU that says the speech was not good, they are being very dishonest. Because the president is very consultative. He consulted with all of us for the speech. So I'm saying to you, he touched on illegal immigration. He touched on the 10,000 inspectors. But most importantly for me, he touched on the people of District 6. He touched also on the issue of the Cape Flats. Ek is van hier. Ek bly hier. And he spoke about the issues, gang fights, and now the army's coming.
If Gayton was president, what else would he have done differently?
The only thing I would have done differently was president, I would not have agreed with him when it comes to medical care for illegal foreigners.
But let's just say EFF leader Julius Malema does not share the same enthusiasm.
This thing of task team after task team, is a person who's failing to execute their own responsibility and they shift it to other people. So it's a confirmation that he doesn't have the necessary capacity in the GNU to deal with issues that he wants to deal with. So we are here again listening to a man who is using a government platform during an election year to launch a campaign, to campaign for his political party. That's what we've been subjected to here. Most of the things you have been listening to, we heard about them.
And even less impressed is the Umkhonto weSizwe party's Nhlomulo Nhlaela.
I mean, how can we be speaking about a flourishing JSE of the backdrop of poverty? Remember, most of those companies that are at the JSE are funded by the PIC. Where does that money come from? It comes from the UIF. It comes from compensation fund. Where does that money come? GEPF. That money is from the workers, the people, the ordinary people that are funding those same companies on the JSE, whilst they continue to clean hotel rooms that are owned by those people and yet can't even afford to live in those same hotel rooms. But yet they're the ones that are funding it. So we can't be excitable about the fact that the JSE is so-called performing. It's because they're his friends that are performing very well, because he's giving them the deals and he's giving them he's selling the country to them in terms of our state assets.
Any positives at all for you in the speech?
No, there's nothing positive.
For Western Cape Premier Alan Winde, the imminent rollout of the army is now a top priority.
So I welcome it. I'm meeting with the minister tomorrow to say how's it going to work. Remember, in 2019 when we did this, if you look at the reports of the military deployment, in the first few weeks we saw a reduction. How do we use that learning from 2019, add it to the police and LEAP and say, okay, now let's zoom in. But this is where I think the president missed a trick, because we've been offering how do we support you in power sharing specifically on investigations. Detectives are totally under-resourced in this region. We got too few numbers, they got too many cases, and we are saying we will come to the party. We'll employ more investigators, and let's just do it first of all on the guns that come off the street. Because if we add those together, then I think we can get a reduction. If that doesn't happen, if it's going to be the same old, well then in 3 months' time or 4 months' time, the military will start losing their impetus, they'll be withdrawn, and we'll be back to square one.
While Trade and Industry Minister Parks Tau admits the lack of an overriding US-SA trade deal certainly keeps him up at night.
This is our second largest trading partner, an extremely important trading partner with economic influence internationally. The quality of trade is important in the US. So yes, I have sleepless nights trying to resolve the issues. When there are challenges, trying to deal with them, trying to ensure that where our products need alternative markets, that we get them into alternative markets. So yeah, it's keeping us quite busy.
And I couldn't let any of these DA politicians off without telling me who they're backing to be their next leader.
I think Jordan's a front runner. I think he's a good candidate. But when nominations open, we need to see the full field before you place your bets at the tote.
Jordan for DA leader?
Yes.
I will back whoever is going to stand. I will make a decision on that. But let me tell you, I think Jordan Lewis will be a great leader for this party. He's been a great mayor.
The State of the Nation address is always a spectacle, where a puppet called Chester Missing can swear off a sushi king.
You're going to be mayor of Joburg. Do you really think that's going to happen?
Yes.
Are you going to set up strip clubs and sushi restaurants in every corner?
The problem with you
What?
is that you read too many newspapers.
I do read news. Please don't read. Bastard, go. Sick bastard.
Where a president takes to a podium not far from a student protest. Where promises are put in black and white, the president says we must, quote, move with speed. And why shouldn't he? After all, 2026 is the year of elections. My name's Graham Robenheimer, this is The Lead, and this is the South African Story.